Okay, so for our last blog involving the bluest eye, I wanted to talk about Piccola specifically and how she is sort of symbolized and represented through flowers/marigolds at the beginning and end of the book, and then also birds at the end of it. In this case, Piccola, she sort of failed to fly and escape as a bird near the end, and then she also failed to sprout as a flower. And I think it's intriguing because obviously they fly in the sky, in the air, and then flowers are in the ground, in the earth, and those two things are essentially opposites, but they present Piccola with the same problem, is that she is stuck to the ground as a bird and stuck in the ground as a flower. And I related this through a quote that I picked out on page 204. It says, "Beating the air, a winged but ground bird, intent on the blue void it could not reach, could not even see, but which filled the valleys of the mind." So I think that the use of the word void here is also something that's worth mentioning, because voids are something that are endless and meaningless and kind of empty. So that symbolizes the blue perfection and beauty that Piccola is striving so hard for. Another comparison of Piccola to a bird is when Claudia and Frida were talking about how to save the baby, and they were saying that, like, oh, this time we have to do it properly. Last time it didn't work because the bird was half dead anyway. And that just struck me, because if Piccola is, near the end of the book, supposed to be compared to a bird, then she's almost like the bird that they were talking about, in that she's gone through so much, she's almost already half dead. So that's another point. Back to the quote, it says that the ground bird could not even see the void that it was trying so hard to reach. And that also reminded me of how flowers cannot see the sun until they sprout through the earth. And obviously the sun is something that's very important and that the flowers need in order to grow. There's another quote that I found, and it happens when sort of the townspeople are talking about what to do or what they think will happen to Piccola's baby. And initially I took this quote as a euphemism for being dead, which is primarily what it's used at. But one of the women says, "better off in the ground." And like I said, that could be used as a euphemism for dead, but it also struck a chord with the whole idea that Piccola is a flower. And I know that in this case, the townspeople were talking about the baby, but because Piccola and her baby were both in the worst possible circumstances, I kind of took this quote for both of them. So Piccola, her baby, and the flower that represents her are all better off in the ground, not seeing the light, dead. Which seems like a really, really harsh thing to say, but that is what the townspeople were saying. So I think that Toni Morrison began and ended the book with the flower comparison, because children being flowers is, it's already sort of a common metaphor, in that, like, children and flowers, they both have to grow. They both need proper nourishment and care and a good environment in order to be healthy. However, near the end of the book, when she starts talking about how Piccola is like a bird, it's told through the point of view of Claudia looking back. And once Claudia saw Piccola and her physical movements and everything as bird-like, then she sort of realized that in a way Piccola was close to escaping, but she was only close to escaping once she had sort of lost her mind and her sanity, which is a sad thing in and of itself. So ultimately, I think that Toni Morrison is trying to say through her talking about Piccola in the way of flowers and marigolds and birds and everything, I think she's trying to say that some things just almost, not that they're not meant to be, but that they can't be. Like how she says that they're in like the very last line of the book, some fruits and seeds and flowers just will not grow in the soil, in the environment that they're given in. And that is tragically the case with Pecola.